Hello, everyone. Welcome to DMV Rivals Spring Edition Losers Finals. I'm joined here today by Shiv. My name is Hoptech. Shiv, please introduce yourself.
Yep, hello. My name is Shiv. Today we got Losers Finals between Pot of Stew and I Miss Her. I Miss Her was sent to Losers Bracket only by this team, so they'll be looking for a bit of revenge and to book their ticket into Grand Finals.
That indeed. And I hope to see some change-ups here for Pot of Stew. But they've been looking very impressive, and same thing with I Miss Her, even though they took an early loss straight into the losers bracket. But yeah, we'll see tonight which team will be moving on to Grand Finals.
Yeah, I Miss Her did have a sort of interesting situation yesterday where they had to play without their initial mid laner, Water Frog, and instead play with Autumn in the mid lane. Did yield them 2 straight wins. I am not sure if Water Frog is playing today or not. It looks like he is there. So Water Frog will be back in the mid lane for I Miss Her. And we'll see if the team can readjust to the kind of champion style he plays.
Yeah, so Water Frog will be there, but on the side of Pot of Stew, they will not have their jungler. Fusion, actually. So we'll be seeing what kind of change-ups they'll have to make up for the loss of Fusion. A very strong player for them, has been carrying a lot of weight on his back for this team. But yeah, let's see what they got cooking with this new lineup.
Yeah, especially when you look at the game that Pot of Stew won previously against this team, it was Fusion on that Rengar, just absolutely blowing up the game. So we'll see how they're able to adapt.
Yep. And I think we're just going to get right into it. We'll just jump right into drafts. I think they're going to use client, I believe. So whenever they're ready, we'll be jumping straight into draft.
Yeah, so for I Miss Her, they are a team that has since gotten a bit hot here in the latter part of the tournament with 2 straight wins. And a lot of that has seemed to be attributed to Kindred for Cloud actually playing that one in the jungle. Has been something they've ran back in both of those games. So I'm curious to see if they put Cloud in the jungle position again here. Nope, there's the Kindred ban, right as I say it.
Yep, Cloud deciding to change back to the jungle, his main role, after playing ADC for, I think, 2 games this DMV, because, I don't know, I think he thinks that as a captain of that team, he's using his discretion, and he feels that he can make his team win by putting him on his back and playing in that jungle role.
Yeah, of course. We do see the Rengar ban from the side of IMH.
Yeah, that's a little odd. I think they're missing their Rengar player. Fusion is their Rengar player, so they're banning against somebody who is not even playing for them, which is interesting.
Yeah, a very odd adaptation. We do see the Ezreal ban. Again, that is a champion that IMH has played in the last 2 games with their wins. They already ban out Kindred. They ban out Ezreal that they've been having success with. So those 2 marksmen will be banned away.
Yep. And we'll see that away. I think they're trying to take away some safe picks that Gayer Munch might pick up in the bot lane, because he is kind of autofilled right now as Cloud took his spot back in the jungle. We'll have to see what kind of adjustments they make. And they're going to B1 the Thresh. I believe that's for Cridians.
Yeah, I do believe Thresh was being banned out against a Rough Tough Afropuff. It's a champion he's played a lot throughout his time in League of Legends. Aside from that, he likes to play Annie, so that would be my kind of guess for the support role for the side of IMH. But
yeah,
let's
see what they
want to go bot this early.
Yeah, let's see what they offer. They pick up the Kaisa. Let's see what I think they want to pick the support here as well, and give jungle more of a counter pick, maybe on 3, or maybe even pick a solo lane. But I think we can expect to see support here.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but to me, Kaisa does not scream Annie to me as the support pick. It sounds like you want a big CC engage support like the Leona or the Nautilus alongside that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to pick the Rakan, which is, I think that's not bad as a synergy with the Kaisa. But let's see what Blue Team wants to answer with. I believe it's Cridians at Magma Cuber down in the bot lane. Somebody's going to play that Draven. Sightless played it in game 1.
Ooh.
In round 1. Yeah, and then there's the Zac as well. I actually don't know what these role matchups or lineups are because Sightless is known for being able to play pretty much all 5 roles. But I think Sightless is the only one that can play Draven on that team. I'm really not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, I believe he did play Draven in the match that they lost against Sunny. He got an early cash-in, if I remember correctly, but did not pan out for an actual W. They're going to run it back. Again, this Draven is not even necessarily a powerhouse in lane. If you just get through the lane without dying, you get a random execute, and all of a sudden you have 2k gold in your pocket out of nowhere.
Exactly. So you cannot let that Draven get ahead. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. But yeah, they pick up the Zac on blue team, and then the Camille for an answer, a blind top laner, and they're going to ban some counter picks like the Shen and the Ornn away from Trucy Vivarium.
Yeah, they really want to set up Dorky Nerd here on this Camille, making sure he's comfortable in that lane, which I do think is a bit strange. They have been playing mostly tank tops like Gragas, Malphite throughout this tournament, so Camille now kind of blind picked. We'll see what the response is going to be from the side of Pot of Stew, but first, they got to figure out some more blind picks on the side of IMH.
Yeah, it's not too weird for Dorky Nerd to feel comfortable on this pick. He is a bit of a Camille one-trick. So they do pick that up as a blind before it gets banned in the second phase. And they're going to blind the Grave, or not blind the Graves, they're going to pick that Graves into the Zac. And they're kind of putting all their eggs in one basket for the AP to be some AP mid laner here. But let's see what they're going to pick on blue side to counter this Graves out.
Yep, they still need to figure out their soul lanes. To be fair, Zac can be flexed, but I think we do expect that one in the jungle role. What do they have against this Camille? And it's going to be
Volibear. That's very interesting. I think the Malphite is still up. I think Malphite is super strong right now, especially into that team with heavy AD. It looks like.
You did talk about IMH heavily indexing into kind of AD damage right now, but if you go for something like Malphite here, I do think then a lot of the loads on that Draven to carry through team fights and survive the dive that comes through from Rakan Camille. And it looks like that may actually be the case. A lot of damage going to be put into that Draven as Viego is the pick.
Yep, and yeah, I'm not sure what they're looking for here. Where is that Zac going? Where is that Volibear going? Where's that Viego going? Even a lot of flex picks around that can pretty much go anywhere. And it looks like Waterfrog might opt for this Rise as their sole AP. No, it's a Taliyah.
Okay.
It's a Taliyah. Okay, so it looks like he's thinking that he kind of wants to stop the engage of Zac, of Viego, of Volibear. But not too many dashes on the blue side. I'm not too sure how I feel about the Taliyah pick. I think they just needed some good DPS mid laner that would just pump out the AP damage that they're lacking. I think Taliyah's not bad, but I would have liked to see something like... actually, no, Azir's not meta anymore, so we can't say Azir.
Kneecapped.
Yeah, I think Taliyah's actually fine in that case then. Or maybe even Cassio, maybe Rise would even be good, I feel like. But yeah, what do you feel about these champ selects?
It's a bit interesting, I think, on the side of IMH. You have a lot of champions like Kai'Sa, Rakan, Camille that are trying to dive forward and get the fight going on their terms, whereas I really feel like Graves, because he's short range, and Taliyah, because of that Unraveled Earth, that those are champions that generally want to play tight back and relax in a fight and let the enemy walk into them. So I'm curious to see how they want to play out the 5v5s once we get there.
Yep, and we'll just have to see what they want to do for that. But in any case, I think these are two very strong teams. I mean, they've made it all the way to losers finals. Even though Joni is lacking the jungler, it looks like who's picking up that slack? It looks like Magma Cuber is actually going to pick up that slack for Fusion.
Interesting. Okay. So that means it is then Volibear top, Viego mid, and then Zac jungle.
Yeah, it seems like a Zac jungle. Magma Cooper, I think actually, if I look at the list, he is a jungler, which is surprising because he's been playing support so well in this tournament. I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out.
I think jungle is definitely going to be an interesting spot because when you have a champion like Zac that really wants to just get to that late game, try to pick up whatever camps he can, and then someone like Graves that can really like invade him, put early pressure on with counter jungling, And we'll see how that kind of goes out between the junglers and if Zach can pick up his camps and stay on pace with the game.
Yep, yeah. This Graves is definitely going to look to get ahead. I mean, Cloud is the best player on this team by far. He's hit GM multiple times. He is just a power farming jungler. He's a bit of a Graves one trick. He's known for playing Graves, really. So it's nice to see him on that counter pocket pick. And he's going to look to carry this game, honestly. This game is in his hands.
Right. It is going to be very interesting to see. I mean, we talked about IMH trying to come in here and get some revenge after falling in the initial match against POS, and this draft looks very, very different from the draft they were trying to run against POS the first time. They have dive, they have that sort of big carry jungler that you were talking about. I believe in their first match they played the Jarvan, where I guess it wasn't Cloud on it, but they were still playing for the lanes and this early ganking jungler rather than something like Graves that's going to scale up and be a menace later on.
Yeah, and that's the difference between Cloud and Gamermunch. Gamermunch is known for playing that more of a supportive kind of meta, Jarvan, Vi, that kind of stuff. While Cloud is just kind of all in Graves, Kindred, all these hyper carry junglers who just want to farm up and just get these surmountable leads to just overwhelm the enemy team. And just pretty much 1v9, honestly. That's what I expect Cloud to. That's what I expect Cloud's mentality to be, and IMH's mentality to be. Just get this Graves ahead, win your lanes. I mean, I think I see at least two winning lanes here.
Yeah, I was going to ask what your take on this mid lane is, since we haven't seen Viego mid in a really long time.
Yeah, if this is Viego mid, I think Talia should get pushed, so that's really good for the Graves, who can look to just pretty much clear safely, look for maybe some early ganks, early invades, because he does have that upper hand on the Zac, just that early damage in general. Zac is more of a ganking jungler, while Graves is more of a like farming, kind of skirmishing jungler. So we'll just have to see of how this goes. Maybe we'll see some action in the 2v2 mid lane. Although Talia is kind of lacking that early game damage that you would like to see if you want to play with that Graves and look for skirmishes around that 2v2. Viego, on the other hand, is really strong in that skirmishing. With the Zac, it might be a little bit scary, but we'll just have to see what goes on.
Yeah. One thing I am a bit worried about with this Viego is that his team is pretty low on damage. I'm not entirely sure what this Volibear is going to build, albeit, but that initial reset might be very hard to come by for the Viego in this game when Draven's like the only key damage source.
Yep, and hold on, guys. A little bit of technical difficulty. This always happens when I spectate. We'll get right back to it.
Yeah, I believe this client has not been updated since the Volibear rework, so it has been quite a while for them to figure out what to do with Spectator. I have looked into any major regions playing Volibear top in the year 2023. There have been 3 instances. It has lost twice, and one of those losses was against Camille, where it got absolutely bodied and lost in 27 minutes with a scoreline of 1-5.
Okay.
See how it goes here for the Volibear top. We're in to our first match of this first game of this best of 3 between Pot of Stew and I Miss Her, trying to book a ticket to that grand finals.
Yep. Let's see. I expect a banger of a game, banger of a best of 3. Come on, let's see 3 games, guys. No stomps here, okay? If you're stomping, maybe throw a Baron or throw a Dragon or something like that, so we can keep this close, right?
The stream yesterday, 20-minute game. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need none of that, okay? We don't need to see any stomps.
We do see Camille taking Ignite in the top lane, so no flash on Dorky Nerd as the 5-man is grouping up, looking for someone to scrap with, but they have been spotted.
Yep, and they're going to get spotted on this early topside invade. It seems like. I think IMH, they're going to type it out, that they know they're there.
A bit of banter, but we do see the counter ward on the enemy red, placed by Rough Tough Afro Puff. So both sides will have full information of where the junglers are starting. We'll see if anyone wants to alter their path to kind of protect or punish the flashless Camille for this early game.
Yep. we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, it is also Dark Harvest on Water Frog. I know you've played quite a bit of Talia. That seems a bit unusual to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked to Water Frog. No, I talked to GMU Mushy. He's the person that was like, oh, I just looked at whatever the One Tricks did. I think PC Zhang and over in Korea, and he just looked up that build. So if you look at UGG right now, Dark Harvest mid Talia is the highest win rate right now, or the most popular rather.
Okay.
So that is why people go it. I personally don't do it. I just opt for First Strike or maybe some electrocute some games. In this scenario, I think it's okay maybe because I think you can expect Joni to get kind of low because he's opting. He is in a melee matchup after all, so he's gonna be just kind of regenning and playing safe with his D shield and second wind.
Yep.
Looks like Cloud's
Resolve
for an
second
early gank. Here he is.
fantastic, but he is gonna get ganked. Smokescreen goes down for the slow. Water Frog and Cloud trying to chase this down. They'll drop the ignite. Zac is arriving, gets a Q to slow Cloud's advance, and just a flash and ghost burn by Joni.
Yeah, you say just a flash and ghost, but I think that's a pretty big deal for Viego. Cloud's playing very aggressive.
Yep, Cloud's gonna actually get stunned up here and brought back with the auto on the ward. Cloud will be fine. He did not have smite up to instantly take that chicken as it got low. We'll get a bit of trade in top. Dorky Nerd able to get out from the splitting skies during the trade. But Cridian,
what a hook!
The quick draw. Beautifully done. Flash right by Cloud. The elastic slingshot will not quite connect, but a flash forward. And first blood goes to the subbed in jungler. And we got more of a scuffle as Magma Cuber able to get away from the Talia.
And
Electrocute up there as it is going to be Zac out ahead early on.
What a hook from Cridians. I mean, he just predicted the crap out of Cloud with that quick draw over the wall. I mean, that was literally insane. Well done to him.
Yep, well done. They don't lose too much for that Thresh walking up bot side. I don't think Kai'Sa Rakan is really going to apply too much pressure to the Draven in this early phase, but we talked about Graves wanting to kind of get ahead, counter jungle some camps away from Zac, and this is not the start he wanted, and they're still on the same sides of the map here as Cridians. Gonna get knocked up. The Flay is used. It's Rough Puff taking a lot of damage, but so is Cridians. He has to flash away before the Plasma gets proccing.
Yeah, I mean, you see that from Cloud just right now. I mean, he's playing with a huge ego. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. He's playing like he does not give a damn. He needs to get ahead and look for these aggressive plays. And that's what he's doing now. He's just ganking on repeat, trying to get a lead.
Yep, they're going to look back mid. No summoners on Joni. Where's the shove? It is dashed away from. Well played by Joni, as he will still survive. Still not much of a lead for this Graves.
Yep, nothing yet, but he's going to keep looking. I mean, he's not going to let up. He needs that one kill, that 2 kills, and he's just going to start snowballing out of control.
Yeah, he is going to be finishing a double crab here. He maybe could have invaded Zac's jungle, given that I believe Camille is stacking a big wave top, and he maybe would have had time, but Zac's going to show himself bot maybe here on this ward, so bit of a missed opportunity, but he'll just go back and farm his own red side.
Yeah, seems like that. Looks like Dorky Nerd's just going to take a reset after that big wave crashed. Bit of a cheater. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to have to TP, I believe. Oh, actually,
if that's Sheen, yeah,
he might TP. Actually, I thought that wave was big enough for him to take a cheater, but it looks like it's not.
He will get the Sheen though, item that Camille loves to pick up as early as possible. Still has that ignite in tow if Graves wants to look towards her lane as it comes back into her. She looks to hold it.
Yep, looks like he's going to try to freeze this. Maybe get his jungler to come top. Trucy Vivarium is just going to finish his recall. Oh, just misses that W.
Yeah, Zac is on top side to perhaps cover, so Volibear feels fine teleporting out. As Joni actually still hanging on in the mid lane, finishes a Vamp Scepter, so along with that second win in Doran Shield you said, he's going to be relatively fine in this melee versus range matchup.
Yeah, Talia just doesn't do that damage early. She needs at least level 9 to get that 5 level Q. That's when she can really start to do that deeps, and looks like they're looking for a gank up top.
Yep, Dorky Nerd gonna be fine. Slingshot doesn't hit, neither does the Stretch Armstrong. And so nothing to come out there. Viego has looked for her own bot. We'll see if anything to come from it.
Yep. Looks like they don't know he's there for now. And this wave is gonna be, they're gonna try to freeze this and try to get Vega to stay there. Rough Tough might face check him.
Oh, Joni gonna look to go in, has the Spectral Moss stun onto Gayer Munch, but Gradient Sightless not really in range to follow up. Joni trading a lot of autos with this Kaisa. He has to get back range with a Flay. Procs the Glacial Augment, stand aside. Can they get the cash in? They can't, but it's still a kill in favor of blue side as Sightless now has to flash away. Cloud makes his presence known here as he's trying to get the end of the line damage across. He doesn't have red buff slow. It's hard to chase down, but he's got Talia with him too. Flash W is in, the Flay was a bit late. Sightless jukes the shove, but it does not matter. The cash will be absolutely thrown away, and Cridians will give a kill over to Cloud on top.
Yeah, and I think was ambitious for Joni, because he clearly did not have enough damage to take down Gayer Munch or Rough Tough Afterpuff. They were just cutting the mess out of him, and he had to get that Lantern to get out to safety. Sightless tried to get a little lucky with that thing, but it looks like, or that execute to get his stacks, but it looks like Cridians picked up the kill on accident maybe, and that's just not what you want to see. On the other hand, Cloud did get a kill. Rough Tough Afterpuff also got a kill, but Cloud must be very happy with that kill. He gets to start snowballing now.
Yeah, an absolute disaster for the Draven. He was storing stuff up in the Swiss bank account, and the bank just suddenly shut down and went bankrupt. Definitely not what you want when you play this Draven pick.
Yeah,
that's a huge win for the side of I Miss Her.
Yep, exactly. And I think let's see what Cloud wants to do with this lead. I mean, he's going to clear up his top side. Let's see what he wants to do from there. Drag is up. Rift Herald just spawned.
Yeah, he does have that Umbral Glaive first item, trying to spike as fast as possible on this Graves. We'll see how aggressive he wants to play it, or given that a lot of flashes were blown bot, if he wants to make a visit there and maybe transition into Dragon.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see if he's going to opt for Eclipse rather than the Gore Drinker. But given that there's 4 melees on the side of Pot of Stew, I think he's going to opt for that Gore Drinker and be less aggressive. But yeah, Umbral Glaive going to come in really clutch with the vision control.
Wait, has Tracy DC'd? What is that? He just stood in bush, letting his wave crash. He's playing long con here, even though his jungler's on bottom side, I suppose.
Yeah, I wasn't watching what was happening up there, but
he will make his presence known now for a bit of a trade. But he dropped an entire wave to tower, I believe, trying to get some cheese.
Yeah, not sure about that. It looks like they're just going to trade Rifts for Dragon here. Seems like Cloud is pretty happy with that trade. It is kind of a gold trade as compared to a resources trade or like a win con trade, because the side of Pot of Stew gets to stack up these dragons for a win con, but Graves is just interested in getting this gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, especially with us knowing that the second dragon will be Cloud, we know that actual soul is going to be pretty impactful if either team is able to pick it up. So a fine trade that I think both teams are pretty content with. Draven still up a good amount of farm here in this bottom lane despite that early death and loss of investment.
Yeah, but if you look at the bot lane, they're also down about 30 CS. I mean, they're going to pick up this wave. Maybe it's going to cut down to 20, but not looking too good for them either. It's a bit of a trade-off. I mean, I'm saying that, and then you can look at mid and top. It looks like that's going to make up for it. And that's why they have that 1.3k gold lead at this point in the game. Oh, Waterfog looking for an all-in.
Is dropped. Joni has to ult defensively, flash forward.
That's a solo kill.
It's the solo kill for Waterfrog. He's back and ready to play. Magma Cube will get the Q back, but Cloud is in the area if Magma Cube goes too far forward, and now he may be in a bit of trouble. He's pulled over the rocks. Flash forward out of Cloud. They get the passive proc. The Bloblets will not be staying up for much longer, and Waterfrog finds 2.
That was pretty much a 2v1 from Waterfrog. What an insane play by him. I mean, like I was saying before, it looks like, I mean, Talia just needs to get that level 9, and she's going to dish out some massive damage with her Q. And it looks like Joni was not prepared for that. Juicy Vivarium trying to protect this T1 tower in the mid lane. Joni is here. But yeah, massive play from Waterfrog. That's the kind of 2v2 you want to see from your mid jungle.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see out of a guy who maybe, you know, may have not felt too good about his team going on a 2-game winning streak without him, but he is making his presence known here in the first game of this best of 3.
Yep, absolutely. He's come here to shine. I mean, he's come here to put on a show. That's what he's doing right now. He's up 30 CS. He has a 2-kill lead. He's going to be a menace.
Yeah, and you talk about the comp from the side of... Oh, actually, hold that thought as the Baron getting very low. The ult to dodge away, but they ignite Tix and Dorky Nerd with the solo kill on the carry top.
Yep, and I mean, these solo lanes are just going crazy right now on the side of I Miss Her. I mean, there's nothing much to say. You're just getting gapped all across the board.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Graves having to get ahead. He's also now up a lot of camps. So this early game going pretty much picture perfect. Maybe you don't want the bot lane this far behind, but I think I Miss Her very happy with how it's panning out. And Joni could be in more trouble. He's down 2 levels. He'll get away from the shove with that miss, but Cloud is here. Zach may be looking for a re-engage. Can't quite find it.
I don't think so.
He gets the knock-up down onto Joni. No flash available on the Viego. And the dive in from Kaisa is good to seal that kill. And there's a shove over the rocks, and Sightless gets caught trying to catch an axe.
Good eye there from C9
continues in favor of I Miss Her.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that Cloud wants to just get his lead in the jungle to try and 1v9 this game, but it seems like Waterfrog has other ideas. He's 1v9 in this game right now. He is going crazy. Good eye over there on the bot side to catch Sightless over the wall with that shove. I mean, looking
really
nasty on this Talia.
Waterfrog. I don't know about Eminez, but he's at least better than Diplex from what I saw. Magma Cube are going to try to come in, prevent this tower to just die for free, and he will do so.
Yeah, Waterfrog just kind of playing with his food, not gonna lie. He has his Graves behind him, so he can play a little more aggressive than normal, but yeah.
Yeah, both soul lanes up 2 levels right now, so it's not just the kills, it's the EXP going heavily in their favor. As Dorky Nerd with a big trade with the Q2, he's finished that Sunder. He is ready to take over this matchup.
Yeah, and I don't know. This Viego pick, it seemed Joni was pretty confident in it, but it's just not panning out.
Yep, Tristy trying to fight
might be in trouble.
Hook shot's there. He's going to go for the ultimate. Cloud is behind, but I don't know if Dorky Nerd even needs him. He'll at least donate
the assist
over. Tristy kind of wastes a flash. I have to think he'll live, but his axe around, and Cloud may actually be caught out. Drusy gets the shield back up from Splitting Skies, and Drusy actually plays it out very well.
Wow, I thought that flash was kind of troll, not going to lie, but it seems like it works out for him. Magma Cube are there to protect him, but it looks like they might be in trouble.
Yep, they're going to still look for a dive. There is no Talia coming, but they don't even need her with that wall. The dive looks good. Dorky Nerd, another tower shot, is going to kill him. And so it's 2 for 0 on the top dive, and the response play just isn't there.
Very well executed from I Miss Her. And Dorky Nerd just living with a sliver of health, but yeah, I mean, it's just unlucky. They're just getting completely steamrolled right now.
Yeah, they are happy. It is the best of 3 here in Losers Finals, the way this is going, because, I mean, Draven dropped his money in the river early on. There just isn't much in the scaling department, I feel, for the side of Pot of Stew that you can really hang your hat on and say, well, at least, you know, we get to 40 minutes maybe, but I don't know where that's going to come from.
Yeah, I don't know what it's coming from. When you're seeing the 7.5k gold lead at 14 minutes, it's not looking hot. Maybe that pot of stew is looking cold, not gonna lie, looking a little bit out too long, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. We're gonna see a hook in bot side as maybe they want to get something onto this Draven, but the Battle Dance comes in before the stand aside, so Rakan is gonna be absolutely fine in this bot side. They bring Trucy over. They are trying to invest everyone into this Draven to get some cash into their pockets, but just gonna be Dragon instead. But I mean, the side of IH is here. They're going to go for the fight. Volibear already chunked out. He goes for the ultimate, but Waterfrog takes him out easily. And now Magma Cuber in the pit. He needs a lantern to safety. No Unraveled Earth to stop that one. Maybe a steal from Magma Cuber, but it's going to be a two-way trip. He has the flash. He's going to go in. He is not going to win the smite fight against Cloud. Now he's trapped in the Hextech ultimatum. He'll go down into his Bloblets, and that will be a donated kill over to Cloud.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Pot of Stew was thinking there on the meta or the rotation. They're about to get a dive here, it looks like.
Yeah,
might be in trouble.
Smoke screen slow onto 2 exhausted drop, but who cares? 2-man knock up out of Rough Puff, and that's just all she wrote for this bottom lane. It just goes from bad to worse to even worse, as now this bot lane turret's gonna fall.
Yeah, it's nothing really to say. I think that at this point, Pot of Stew needs to just regroup, not think about this game anymore. Just think about the next game because it's looking kind of lost. I don't know how they're going to be able to come back from this one, especially since they don't really scale, right? I mean, look at the Volibear. That is like one of the worst scaling champs in the game. Versus like Graves, Camille, Talia, Kaisa. I mean, what can you do? This Draven isn't ahead either. He didn't get his cash out. I mean, it's just not looking good.
Yeah, the well is looking dry here for the side of Pot of Stew, and Juicy, it's actually just an FF.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
go next.
Props to them. That's a good move. I think they know that the game is lost, so they're just going to go next. Sometimes that's all you need to do in your game. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about that game? I mean, it just looked like they were just in control the whole time. I mean, there was that one invade. Cloudy was being very aggressive, and Critians hit a very nice hook. But Cloud wasn't. It doesn't seem like he was discouraged from that at all. He just put his foot on the gas pedal and didn't let off.
Yeah, it's all about that mid jungle 2v2 with Cloud and Waterfrog. Waterfrog coming back, sees his opportunity. He's just eating a bunch of flies out on the Rift in that game. So very good game from Waterfrog coming back into the lineup on a mage, on a more traditional champion that even with these weird picks like Volibear and Viego that Potastu wasn't really able to deal with.
Yeah, very good game from him, and I think Joni might need to reconsider picking that Viego in the lane. He seemed pretty confident in picking these like melee matchups. I mean, he is a top laner. He is known for playing more melee champs rather than range champs, but that was just not the move into the Thalia, it seems.
Yep, Thalia very good against those guys, and yeah, I mean, you look at what the side of Potastu has been successful on. They've played Gwen mid this tournament. They do like putting Joni mid on those kind of melees, but a good response from the side of IMH, and an absolutely dominant game one that they are going to look to build on in game two.
Yeah, and I think Joni is really... Pot of Stew is really feeling the loss of their jungler Fusion. I mean, Fusion is known to play more carry stuff like that Rengar, like the Olaf, things like that can actually hold his own into Cloud. But when you pick something like the Zac or like other gank heavy, supportive junglers, Cloud just sees that as a window of opportunity to just start farming up a storm and get this insurmountable lead on your jungler. And I don't know how Joni is going to answer with this team in this next draft.
Yeah, I mean, it can be so rough for the Zac if your lanes are getting pushed in, you're warded everywhere, you show clearing your Raptors, and all of a sudden Graves has just farmed away your entire top side. So it's very hard for Zac to play out those games. We'll see if... It looks like Joni's team is going to be on blue side, so they won't get any real big counter picks from red side. So we'll see if they can get more kind of power picks in those lanes to maybe protect their role swap jungler.
Yep. We'll see. I mean, Magma Cube, again, is not role swapped. Critians...
He was role swapped to support, my bad.
Yeah. He was role swapped to support. Critians is a support main. They do have pretty much 5 on roll. But Fusion is a diamond level player, while Magma Cube, I believe, peaked plat 4. So there is some difference between that. So yeah, we're just going to jump into the draft whenever they're ready.
My response is I Miss Her is very long, and it's more cringe than Pot of Stew. And also POS implies other things, so I'd rather not use that acronym.
Yeah, that is true. We'll jump in whenever they're ready, which should be sometime soon. But yeah, I just hope to see
not an FF at 15.
Yeah, I just hope to see not an FF 15. We're trying to see some bangers out here.
20-minute game, and I Miss Her said, "We'll do your one better. Let's go 15 minutes."
Yeah, literally 15 minutes, and an FF, man. I mean, props to them. They realized that the game was lost and they just cut it there. But yeah, I mean, Pot of Stew has to make some adjustments. They got to put something in that stew. They got to put some salt or something.
Yeah, I mean, very bland stew. I mean, if you're forgetting salt in your stew. It's not going to end up well. So let's focus on the basics here. I think for pot of stew as we get into this bans. Do you think they need to ban any of the champions that I miss her played in that last game?
I mean, I think they just need to ban out Cloudy from these power farming junglers. I mean, they need to take away the Kindred. I feel like they need to also take away the Graves because they cannot let this man just free farm without any punishment, right? I mean, Magma Cuber isn't the caliber player that will be able to counter jungle him or anything like that because I mean, Cloudy is a GM player. Like, it's not going to work out like that. So I think they just need to take away the Graves. I hope they ban it. They don't ban it. They take away the Camille instead.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll see. I mean, Cloudy, again, he is a Graves player. He's the best player on that team. I think he's just gonna pick Graves again, no matter the comp. I don't think.
And I mean, we looked at kind of what we watched this team play with like two different mid laners yesterday, right? And while Autumn plays a lot of these sort of utility mages and such, I think that is what really allowed Cloud to be comfortable on those more carry style junglers. And even in this game, Waterfrog says, okay, we want to play that way. I'll drop a Talia and we'll run over this game through jungle. And it looks like it is going to be that Graves again with the side of Bottas keeping that Thresh first pick.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not surprised that Cloudy's going to pick it up again. I mean, it worked game 1. It's going to work game 2, right? I mean, I think that on the red side, it's even better because he gets to pick this Graves, and then he's going to pick, obviously, it seems like they didn't ban Ezreal from the last game. They're going to pick a safe ADC to kind of weak side that bot lane, but they're going to get counterpick on their solo lanes with this red side, right? I mean, I assume Magma Cuber is going to pick jungle, but they're going to get counterpick on at least one pick.
Yeah. And with Draven gone, there isn't that huge like aggressive bot laner that Potastu is going to be able to play with here. They may have to go a bit deeper to find something like that. They'll settle for scaling. They'll settle for Jinx, as they probably just need to pick up a jungler here.
Yeah, and I think the side of Potastu is going to try and not play for early game with that Volibear, with that Viego, and that Draven. And they're going to play for more of scaling picks. I like the Lilia. This is definitely more of a scaling pick.
It is definitely something that can match the Graves in that kind of farming competition and be able to just clear fast enough that Graves can't really counter jungle, maybe get some counter jungling done herself. But like you said, there is a gap in the skills of these two players. So it's going to be interesting to see how they want to play out power farm versus power farm kind of matchup.
Yep. And I think the smart thing for I Miss Her to do here is to give your mid laner, the star of the show from last game, counterpick. I think that Joni's champ pool is just not very blind pickable into whatever mages that Waterfrog has in his pockets. Just give I mean, you don't have the Camille in this game, so just give Dorky Nerd a chance to just blind some tank and then give Waterfrog.
I'd have to assume he wants to drop something like a Fiora, given... Actually, no, Fiora's good into Shen Ornn. So I'm not quite sure what they want to set up, given that they are banning Shen, are banning Ornn.
I mean, I would like to see...
Says you want to play a carry, but we'll see.
I mean, he could blind something that is carry, but I'm not too sure. Looks for the Olaf blind.
All right, Olaf is definitely not a bad pick. He only cares about damage. He doesn't care about CC. He doesn't care about going to sleep. He doesn't care about flame jumpers. He doesn't care about hooks. So he will just be able to try to run down Sightless in these fights. But there is counterpick for Trucy here in this draft.
Yeah, Trucy Vivarium is going to pick up this Jax as a counterpick into Olaf. I mean, it's a pretty good matchup, especially early. But yeah, they did the smart thing. I think this is what they need to do on their team. I think I Miss Her just needs to give their mid laner counterpick, and it looks like Joni's going to pick up that Syndra. Wow, that is not something you normally see out of Joni.
Certainly a more blind pickable mid, but now with the option in the hands of Waterfrog to take whatever counter he wants. He also knows he'll be against double AP in Lilia Syndra, so I mean, Kassadin? Maybe? Galio?
I don't think Kassadin. I don't think Galio. I think it's a LeBlanc. I think it's a LeBlanc angle.
Okay, we will see LeBlanc.
I do like the LeBlanc angle. It shows some confidence that you're going to pick this and just gap your laner. I mean, Joni, I'm not too sure how comfortable he is on Syndra and like these control mages. I mean, you don't really see him play. I mean, he's a top laner after all. So I think Waterfrog is just looking to exploit that and just pick the LeBlanc and just kind of win the lane.
Yeah. One thing I personally worry with LeBlanc lanes is that your mid jungle 2v2 tends to be very light on CC because the chains, being a skill shot, not as reliable, doesn't have any slows to really set it up. So when you run Graves LeBlanc, you are very light on CC, and the comp is also light on CC because they're playing Olaf top.
Yeah, but if that chain lands, I mean, it might be lights out.
It is a lot of burst.
You can get that Graves smoke screen into a LeBlanc chain. I mean, if you can't land that chain, I don't know what to say to you. Not gonna lie, but we'll just have to see how good Waterfrog is on this LeBlanc and how confident he is in accomplishing the mid jungle 2v2.
Yeah, I think the other thing that shows confidence here from the side of iMisser is that Olaf top, right? They were willing to pick it blind. They banned out some matchups they didn't like and just said, okay, we don't care that we don't know what truce he's playing in this game. We're going to give our guy Olaf. He is going to stampede over the top lane, probably takes Flash Ghost, and tries to do what he can in the solo matchup.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the same story. You got two or one winning lane at least. I mean, I think Cloud is comfortable with at least one winning lane. Being mid lane, I think mid lane is probably the easiest lane to like. Well, when you have a mid lane that's winning, it's kind of much easier for a jungler to play because you can go like both sides and kind of be able to invade. Even if top side is not winning or if bot side's not winning, if your mid lane is winning, at least it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, pretty much. For a jungler. So I think Cloud is gonna do the same thing. I mean, we saw it in game 1 where he kind of just I don't know if he 3-camped or 4-camped, but he just ganked mid early, tried to get that lead, died going for an aggressive play on Raptors, but just came straight back mid lane to look for Joni again. So let's see what happens this game.
Yeah, I'd assume stuff is gonna be a bit more chill when you have Lilia. There isn't as many angles where Graves wants to just get in there and fight early with counter jungling because Lilia herself very, very fast on the clear. And to be fair, last game both teams did have full information on the jungle starts with the early invades. So power farm versus power farm, it can be interesting, but a lot of times it can just be like, okay, I clear bot to top, I recall, I clear top to bot, and we keep doing this over and over until an objective spawns. So we'll see how Magma Cuber does here now that he is on a champion that can clear out a bit better and not be as exploited as the Zac. Okay, Asif has got some things to do, so instead we'll maybe throw some attention towards the bot lane. Haven't really discussed that one much. Ezreal Rakan definitely feels like a weak side that the iMisser is going to have, that Graves doesn't have to go around. While in the bot side for Pot of Stew, they have that Jinx that can scale up. Last game they didn't have too many scaling options, but this time maybe if you can get Jinx up to that 4-item mark, she can start shooting out those rockets and absolutely pelting the relatively squishy lineup that iMisser is playing this game. Oh, does it work properly first time?
Yeah, let me just get it up and running real quick. Sorry about that. That should be good to go.
All right, we are in to game 2. iMisser looking to finish this one off. Maybe not faster than game 1, but still looking to go for a quick 2-0 and get going into grand finals as soon as possible as they group up as 5 for the invade.
Yep, and I mean, looks like they're just gonna clear the ward and get out of here. But yeah, I mean, I think they're just gonna play an early aggressive jungler from Cloud here. It's gonna be the same thing as before. I don't think it's gonna be anything different.
Yeah, you did mention how that mid lane matchup can be a very big factor in how these junglers play out the game. LeBlanc Syndra, a bit more familiar of a matchup than Viego mid, so what are your thoughts on how this matchup is going to go in the early game?
I think that it's definitely LeBlanc favored, especially early on when Syndra doesn't really have those cooldowns, like that E to push LeBlanc back, or that Q. The Q is also going to be on a pretty long cooldown early on, so I think we're going to see Waterfrog be very aggressive in this early game. And try to get Joni on it, maybe even solo kill because he has that ignite as well.
Yeah. So as we go towards these camps, it is going to be red start for both sides. So they will not be meeting each other, most likely, throughout this early game. Graves and Lily are both going to just finish off and clear towards opposite sides of the map.
Exactly.
And also you need to open scoreboard.
Oh, I have to change that actually. It should be IMH with 1.
So the bot lane something we didn't really touch too much on this game, despite how important bot lane feels in this meta for getting dragon stacking, for getting hyper carriers ahead. But Ezreal kind of going to be weak side. Jinx, maybe more of a get out of jail free card, but the knockup comes in onto Sightless and a shift forward. The level 2 advantage is being pushed, but it's not going to be yielding a kill.
Yeah, and that's just not something you want to see from Sightless. I mean, Graves is pathing away, so he's safe for now, but
well, Graves
Sightless is going to be losing out. And I mean, Gator Munch and Roughtop Hufflepuff are looking to play this weak side bot lane.
Yeah, but Graves actually already top. He dodges the tri-ward, goes for a long walk up to the top lane, and Vivarium has to try to walk out. Gets a flash, but Cloud has the red buff slows. Goes hit by Olaf. He gets the undertow, and that should seal the fate of Trucy. First blood to Cloudy.
Yep, and this is exactly what we've been saying. I mean, this Cloud is just going to look and just suffocate the solo lanes of Pot of Stew early game and just make sure he gets that lead early on.
Now he's even invading on the Gromp up towards top side. It does look like he smited it away. He just got +4. But Lily and Graves still doing battle on this top side. Eep nicely dodged away from, but Drucy is coming back to lane, so I don't know if Graves can really stick around. He has LeBlanc push, though he has Olaf around. And so Graves still trying to push that advantage as much as he can.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's happening here. Waterfall even joining in the fray.
Yep, gets a lot of damage. He's going to pop the Ignite, looking for another auto Q. And Magma Cuber's early game still not going great. Vivarium doesn't have a flash to follow Waterfrog, so he gets out scot-free.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like I Miss Her is on the same page, literally on everything. I mean, the invade, the 2v2, the skirmishes, Waterfrog and Cloudy are just stealing the show.
Yeah, I also really want to highlight Cloudy's early plan with that gank where he did the 3 camps topside, seemed to understand from his top laner who communicate like, hey, this guy is warded Tri-Brush, doesn't have a ward in river, so he walks the long way, all the way up the river, and now Dorky Nerd with a 2-level lead locks down the solo kill for the Viking.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why Trucy Vivarium is even walking up at that point. I mean, he's 2 levels down. What's up?
This is the counter pick, by the way.
Yeah, this is the counter pick. He did counter pick Jax into Olaf, and he is not having a good time. I mean, he needs to get that wave in. I'm not sure if it was bouncing in. I didn't analyze the wave enough, but yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. He was just going to get clobbered by that Olaf, and that's what happened.
Yeah, Dorky Nerd definitely off to the races here on the Olaf. He'll get that Ravenous Hydra and then just be a very angry Viking throughout these.
Yeah, it seems like he's just not even going for the Ravenous Hydra. He's just going to opt for that Stride Breaker. Yeah, he's going to opt for that Stride Breaker early. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter when your team is just this ahead.
Yep, Cloudy even going to get an invade off Lily a bit late to the party. Will pick up some of the small Krugs, but she's got to run because her bot lane is pushed underneath their tower. Magma Cuber able to get out with that passive speed,
I don't
but
think we'll
Cloud
see a dive here
to apply pressure.
We won't see a dive here, but I mean, Magma Cuber is just being denied tons of experience. I mean, he is just mental gapping him right now. This cannot be fun for Magmacuber right now.
Yeah, and he can't really go and do any counter jungling of himself because even if he knows that Graves is invading bot, like, can he really go top with how Dorky Nerd's lane phase has been going? Can he really get those camps away when LeBlanc is up with the kill and the lost chapter finished? Like, what do you really do as Magmacuber here when Graves is in your jungle 24/7?
Yeah, and I think this is just a knowledge gap from Cloud. I think he just knows what to do, and he's just reading Magmacuber like a book. He knows his every move right now. He's just following him. He knows exactly where he is, and knows exactly what to do against him. It looks like
two-man knockup is good from Rough Puff. Critians, he gotta flay those W's, and now he might be caught out. He has to flash. Good battle dance from Rough Puff to get away, but double flash burned on bot side.
Yeah, but Cloud is just going to stop their backs, I think. He's going to look for a dive.
Okay, he's looking for the dive. LeBlanc making her way down here. And Critians and Sightless are in a lot of trouble. I don't know why we care about this Olaf when the dive's going to come through bot side. Hook is good onto Graves, who started tanking. Sightless is going to fall. The tank is being tanked up by Rakan. I don't believe he dies. He does get executed. But meanwhile, there's a solo kill top side that is returned by Magmacuber, but still, it's just an absolute stampede for iMisser.
Yeah, I mean, they do get that kill back over to Dorky Nerd. Good job for Magmacuber to recognize that the play was happening bot side. So to get a kill top side is what you want to do, but it is not good that True Vivarium died on that play.
Yeah, really bad. Waterfrog still with a lot of his cooldowns, willing to go in, make sure that Joni can't get that wave in as the Syndra. Talked about the E and the other abilities being up for Syndra to help her, but she needs a jungler at some points, and with the way this is going, she may not get one for a while.
She do need a jungler. And it seems like she's going to be lacking that for a while, as you said. I mean, Cloud is just making sure that it's his game. I mean, he's running the show.
Yep, they put Cloud back in the jungle role. Doesn't matter that you ban out the Kindred. He has this Graves to go to play that same style and still guide his team to victory. And it looks like with this, 2.5K gold lead that they are on their way to grand finals if they can keep this up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not sure what Pot of Stew was thinking, not banning away the Graves. I felt like they should have definitely banned it away. I mean, with such a strong showing in game one, I mean, it seems like that was the biggest issue rather than the Camille. But yeah. They chose to ban away the Camille.
Yeah, and, I mean, even with that Camille ban, this top lane still going heavily in favor of Dorky Nerd, despite Trucy having double combat summoners, still sitting at 0-3 here on the Jax.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see when you get a top lane counter pick for your top laner.
Yep, Lilia chilling around bot side, knows Rakan has no flash, and do they really look for a play? There is no flash play available, and Critian starts this one off, but the bowling ball goes a bit wide, so no play to be had by Lilia. Graves going to invade her topside and actually may look for a mid dive on the TP. Nope, nothing happening.
I think it's a bit too hard to do that without some proper CC. I mean, Waterfrog can look for something topside, it looks like. They're going to start pathing towards True Vivarium.
Yep, Piercing going to try to step up, trade, and try to thin this wave because the Jax knows what's coming.
Oh,
and it may not be too pretty.
Oh, he knows. It's like, I mean, he's just sitting in death row right now, man.
Yep, Harold even summoned
watching his own execution.
He's trying to go in on the Dorky Nerd, but the Counter-Strike will not stun up Olaf. Can't even deny any assists as top lane is an absolute kingdom right now for Dorky Nerd.
Oh yeah. Good try on True Vivarium, try to get that trade, knowing he was dead anyway, but just not enough damage. I mean, he's opting for this Bork build, not even the Sunder. I mean, he's not going to have a good amount of damage for a long time.
Yeah. The response, though, from Pot of Stew to try to stay in this one, they're going to grab first Dragon of the game on the Lilia. Lilia should get some counter jungling done as well to not fall too far behind, but looks like, yep, she'll just go ahead and walk into Graves' blue side to try to trade some farm there. So something going the way of Pot of Stew, at least in the bottom lane, but the solos are definitely not looking too pretty.
Yeah, good move from him. I mean, Joni I mean, if you remember the meme where it's just the fires all around him, and he's just like, "This is fine. This is literally what's happening in this game right now." Bot lane's getting dove. His top lane's getting dove. He's just chilling in the mid lane, just trying to scale up. Like, come on, guys, I scale. Just chill out, please.
Yeah, there's a drowsy onto LeBlanc, but Syndra's not around. Magmacube's trying to force here. W's out. Has Joni nearby. And he's actually going to flash in, but the scatter is dodged away from with a flash.
Oh, he comes
up here on the roam, and the knock-up comes through with the quickness. Cloud gets another one, and he's looking to go forward onto Magmacuber, but she should have enough speed for Lilia to prance on out. A great support roam coming out of Rough Puff to turn the play.
Yeah, good support roam from him. I mean, he recognized that Joni and Magmacuber were stepping way too far forward when we're this behind. I mean, this is just illegal. I can just hear him say it already. Yo, is this legal?
Yeah, but Waterfrog actually going for a bit of an aggressive dive. Does the Lilia passive kill? It does not, but the Viking, I mean, it's just Scandinavia up in the top lane as they have another play in bot. Flash away from Sightless, but Rough Puff.
What a sidestep.
The choppers weren't armed in time, but a good hook in onto the Cloud. He may be giving that shutdown off if Sightless can get enough autos off, but the Death Rocket is nicely tanked up by Rough Puff, but he's out of dashes. He's got a W out, and maybe he's the one that's going to be pressured. Good flash hook out of Cridians. If anything can go positive, it's going to be this Thresh. But Silas now taking a lot of damage. Shift forward out of Gayer Munch. Nice flay back by Cridians, but I mean, I don't think Lilia is going to be coming here for too much. Actually gets the Q off. Has Krugs to body block the Ezreal Qs, but at least a kill for the Jinx in the scuffle.
Yeah. I mean, Cridians, he's trying to get his team back into this game. He thinks it's not over yet. He wants to get this to a game 3. Both Sightless and Cridians are trying to... They're going to be the saving grace of this team. I mean, they're looking at this Jax 0-5. They're like, yeah, we have to carry. We have to carry this game.
Yeah, this has to be our game. We have to get this Jinx up to that 3-4 item mark where, yeah, LeBlanc can W in on her, but if LeBlanc dies in 2 crits, I mean, who's really counting at that point?
Yep, exactly. They need to get something going down in the bot side. Maybe even mid lane. Rough Tough looking for more.
Yep, Rough Puff the nice quickness, but does Waterfrog have more burst? He does, but the Unleashed Power is enough for the return kill. Ooh. A bit of an overforce by Waterfrog, and Joni finally gets one back.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a miscalculation over on I Miss Her's side. They need to slow it down. I mean, they're throwing away a little bit of leads here and there to Pot of Stew, and that's not really what you want to see. They want to just play this slow, just close it out cleanly, and I mean, Dorkinger doesn't have to play cleanly. He can just play as dirty as he wants. He's 4-1, has a mythic, and yeah, I don't even know how they're gonna deal with this Olaf. Not gonna lie, but while that's happening, we'll just ignore that for now. The absolute slaughterfest that's going on top lane.
Yeah,
and we'll go around.
Focus on this dragon in 90 seconds. The top laners definitely will not join for that because Dorkinerd may be busy getting another solo kill. Fousey, what is going on, man? He's going to die again as Cloud is trying to create more action on the bot side, but a 2-man sleep from the lullaby. They're looking for the Graves shutdown, but no, you can't go over that wall, Magma. You can't be making those mistakes at this point. As everyone able to get out on the side of IMH.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake from Magmacuber. Seems like he thought he could get over that wall, but he could not. But I mean, if we focus on the bot side, I mean, it's much closer, right? We don't have to worry about... Let's just pretend that the game is really close if we just look at bot side. Just ignore the top side of the map. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I mean, don't press X. And actually, we're going to have an engage in. Flash quickness onto Sightless. There's no Lantern coming to save Jinx this time around.
Yeah. And I mean, I can understand Sightless's mentality to try and be greedy. To get the advantages. I mean, he needs to get these items for his team to get at least a semblance of a chance to get back into this game. But you can't be playing like that.
Cannot be playing like that. I mean, if we press X here to look at the gold, if we take Olaf out of the equation, if we just remove that 3.5k gold lead, I mean, what we're looking at then. Only a 3.5 gold lead for like the entire game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Olaf is about half of their gold lead in total. Right. Yeah, it's not so bad. Just ignore the Olaf. He doesn't exist. You know, just
top lane is not real.
Yep.
There is no top lane in DMV Rivals.
Yep. Don't worry about him.
That's why Joni's playing mid lane.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about him, guys. He doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. He won't come and ghost on you and kill your ADC. Without being CC'd.
I will say, Thresh, not terrible into Olaf. It's more than just CC. He can Lantern his Jinx for a bit of an escape that the Olaf can't gap close
Cloud's gonna
against.
ghost here.
Cloud.
I was looking for more.
Yep, Cloud wants something here. Swirl Seed not gonna find its mark. Can Sightless look for a death sentence, but it's all warded up, so nothing too much to do.
Yeah. And I mean, Corinthians just has to start looking for some crazy hooks to try and get some picks. I mean, they do have good setup with the Thresh hook, with the Syndra E into the Jinx rockets. I mean, that can be enough to take down maybe Ezreal or Rakan, given that the mythics are starting to show up. But Johnny needs to be careful.
Johnny a good flash away from the quickness. Rough Puff not quite able to pin him down, but still flash out from the Syndra. Positive play for IMH.
And I like that Sightless is trying to go for this tower, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it on time. He's going to get excited on the passive, but he's going to get also a Thresh Lantern. Is he going to get there?
Position the Lantern. Water Frog puts out a combo, tries to stand on it, but he doesn't have the trinket worth.
Oh, they got to watch out with this Olaf. He's real. He's real. Watch out. He's real.
Ghosting forward on it. He cannot be disabled, and he will not be stopped in his rampage.
Oh my god, he was real. He was real.
Chain onto Thresh. Olaf, Scandinavia just absolutely runs over the game.
Truly the stuff of ADC nightmares. I mean, watching an Olaf or ghost at you, I mean, I would just start screaming, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Jinx not going to be too excited about having to stare down this Olaf in team fights, as Joni with a good chunk onto Garemunch drops the ultimate. Swirl Seed is dodged away from, but we'll see if Garemunch, not even going to invest the flash, no point, gives over a shutdown. But, I mean, his team is still pulling their weight in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's the weak side player. He's just do a little trolling, you know. It doesn't really matter. He knows his Olaf is 7-1. What's a few kills here and there gonna do for them, you know? It's not...
Yeah, we do see that it is more of a tank-focused build out of Magma Cuber. Gonna be dropping likely a Jack Shows with that Demonic. I think that makes sense. When you have Syndra, you're already damaging quite a bit with AP and that burst that Joni can provide. So playing a bit more defensive here on the Lilia seems good until Olaf shows up with his Maw of Malmortius and Mercury Treads.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure how I feel about the Jock Show. I feel like they really need damage if they want to get these kills. I don't think a Jock Show is going to cut it. I mean, it's good if you're ahead and the enemy team doesn't have the damage to kill you, but the enemy team definitely has the damage to kill you. So I'm not sure how good a Jock Show is here.
Water Frog gonna
and Water Frog just vibe checking Sightless real quick. Seems like
he'll get hit by the scatter bit of emote back and forth. Not really, as Joni's just gonna leave, and it's gonna be bot jungle belonging to IMH.
Yep. I mean, the whole map pretty much, but True Vivarium is gonna try to get something back. I mean, he's just... My brother's fasting, bro. Up there. He's just having scraps up there. He's not having fun. He's going hungry, cold, alone. Just look at him. He's homeless.
Yeah, he will try to get something going in his savings with that top tower if he can get it down. Just says, okay, team, I just need this 300 gold. It definitely finishes my Bork, and then I will definitely contend. But Water Frog just wants to go in. Can't quite find it. He's rooted under the tower, and Cridians not able to line up the hook. He'll go forward. Ignite is going to burn down both of them for one, but now Thresh is way too far forward. The box can't do enough to save him. Cloudy's now looking for more damage, but he's not going to find it through Joni. It is 1-for-1. Actually, 2-for-1, as I did not see.
Yeah, it is a 2-for-1. Cridians decide to chase for that kill and ignite the Water Frog. Say, you can't get away with killing my ADC like that. Dies for his cause. I mean, Water Frog must be happy with that. I mean, he didn't have a shutdown or anything like that. He just vibe checked Sightless, ignited him. That was enough to kill him, and that was that.
Yeah, I mean, we see.
Yeah, look at what Water Frog says. That felt personal.
Yeah, I mean, as LeBlanc, that's what you got to do. You got to find one person without magic resist and just blow them up.
Yeah, and now they're picking the heal on Garemunch. It seems like he could have saved his mid laner. Opted not to, you know.
It's fine. That means if that means the ADC can pick up more farm for Garemunch, I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, who blows heal for someone not yourself anyway? You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. I don't read the second part.
Yeah, that's entirely the reason why people just want cleanse now. Because, you know, you don't need to think about teammates.
Yeah, I don't read the second part. Target ally champion, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It only heals myself.
We will see IMH try to get some control around this Baron even with Dragon spawning in 35, they are going to go for it. They do know that Lilia just took a recall on a ward, I believe. They know that Joni is that power point in bottom lane. And this Baron is already getting shredded very fast. Gradient's going to show up to just give them some gold on a ward.
Maybe a Jinx Rocket. Maybe a Jinx Rocket.
And Jinx Rocket, I mean, they were all positioning to block it from the lower side. So even though Silas was able to find the angle, it's not good enough. And now Waterfall...
This is not a fight they want to take. This is not a fight they want to take.
Is gonna get blown up. Gayer Munch gets it from a screen away. They even teleport in the Olaf just in case. That should be Baron and now probably Dragon on top.
I mean, for sure Dragon. I mean, I don't see how they're going to be able to contest. But yeah, there's no way that Pot of Stew wants to fight in that choke. They're just going to get ran over and they're going to end the game.
Might be caught out here. The Unleashed Power, not enough damage as a one-item Syndra. So Rough Tough is perfectly fine. And Cloudy will go ahead and sweep out some vision before they start up this Dragon.
And you can see the desperation, and Joni just hoping maybe that the R would kill the support even. Probably the weakest member in terms of like resistances and health. But, I mean, clearly not enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, when Joni, we talked about him not being much of a control mage player, but Syndra, you know, after that initial laning phase, definitely seems to be good value, right? That, hey, if Rakan tries to dash in for an engage, I can just ult him, and even on his way out, I'll execute him. When LeBlanc appears on my screen trying to W forward, I'll ult her, and she gets chunked out. But when you're sitting at one item, when your second item is going to be Seraph's, that may not entirely be the case.
Nope, and I think that's a mistake, honestly. I think Joni should just go for that Shadow Flame or even a Rabadon's. Because that Seraph's is for survivability. It's not going to give you much damage. I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, especially when you also have to get through Cloudy, who we haven't really talked a lot about because there's just been a lot of action around solo lanes, but he has been stacking up those items. He's on 3 right now, 2 of them giving him good survivability with that Eclipse Shield and Black Cleaver health. So that Graves may be very difficult to take down, especially if he wants to finish any sort of X-Drinker on top of that Mercury Tread.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, bot side and mid lane has been relatively even. I mean, if you take away all of Olaf kills, it's like 6 to 9, right? It's kind of even. But that's like where most of the action is happening. Looks like more action is happening.
They want the Olaf. Majoni is
Look at that shield! Oh my god, is that legal?
For Olaf, for the Jinx, is standing far enough away to get the kill. It actually goes to Lilia. Meanwhile, Jax is caught out. 07, I mean, what's the difference between 07 06? But it is still 1-4-2 in favor of I Miss Her, as they will look for top turret and inhib.
Man, did you see the size of that shield? Oh my goodness, that can't be legal. That literally cannot be legal.
Yep. And now Dorkinerd even finishing that Death's Dance. I believe he did not have that for that scuffle, so now it's going to be even harder to kill him off. He doesn't have a lot of skill, but Water Frog just goes over and blows up Cridians. The ward bait is easy.
Yo, anybody see a Thresh? I mean, that guy just disappeared. Holy crap. Waterfrog only has 2 items, but that's just enough to kill that level 9 Thresh, I believe.
He saw the enemy mid struggle to kill his own support. He said, let me show you how to do it.
Joni made a little misplay. Gary Munch giving him some flack for it. Giving him a little emote. Making fun of him. That's okay.
So, unlike last game, we do have some scaling. Actually, we're going to see Lullaby onto Ezreal, but he's just going to shift away. Death Rocket nicely tanked up. Good knock up out of Rough Buff to interrupt the engage. And now Jax, he's 07 on the back line. There's a Death Forward onto the Flame Chompers. Water Frog may have overstepped, but Cloud has his back with the collateral damage. Rough Puff using the quickness for a bit of peel, as Jinx is a bit excited. They still want to fight for more, but I don't think
the True Shot Barrage literally goes to the next dimension. I don't know where that was going. He just ulted anywhere but the enemy team. But yeah, 1 for 1.
1-4-1, but I mean, this early game seems to be perfectly run by I Miss Her, and you know, unlike last game, at least Pot of Stew has some scaling in their back pocket, but when you're down this much, I don't know if Jinx will ever really get a chance to truly
I mean,
get in these fights.
I mean, it's the same thing. Graves just played that aggressive early game and just farmed up a storm, made sure that he was able to start snowballing. But it seems like, again, he wasn't the main star of the show. It seems like last game it was Waterfrog, and this game it's Dorkinerd who got the treatment and is this far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, really solid play from the side of I Miss Her. You know, they go down to this team early in what was honestly a stomp. But now they say, hey, you don't have your jungler? We are perfectly fine putting Cloud in that position to take over games on power farmers and he's done just that in both games, regardless of what his solo.
Yeah, it seems like he's more or less that insurance in these two games, like a safety net for I Miss Her to fall back on in case they start griefing a little bit. But I don't think that's gonna happen this game unless this Olaf dies somehow, unless Cloud himself dies somehow. I don't see a way that Pot of Stew can cook something up to try and win this game. They don't have a win con. They're not really in position to get this Baron that comes up in 48 seconds now. They're 3 inhibs down. I mean, if you want a little bit of copium, they get to farm these waves, but I don't know how much more they're going to be able to hold on.
Yeah, if you're Pot of Stew, there is no way you are stepping out of your base with double super minions coming in on every wave.
Yeah, and
with
Joni just got
consistently trying to poke you over base gates.
Yeah, Joni just got his service popped. I mean, there goes your whole item value, honestly. Just from a simple combo from a LeBlanc. That's not even the most fed member on his team.
Yeah, LeBlanc definitely thriving in these situations outside of fights where she can find isolated members, throw down all their single target damage, and just make it so that Sightless and Joni are very scared to step up. Waterfrog forcing a flash. Nice dodge on the chains by Sightless, as he'll get some backup from his team. Magma Cuber D seeing, let's not pay attention to that because there's a play in bot side. Flash into hook to proc the Glacial. Scatter, unleash power. They will trade something back for this Baron as it's secured by IMH.
Yeah, they're going to get this Baron. Cranian's yet again saying you can't fuck with my ADC like that. That's my homie. He flashes on Waterfrog to make sure he can't get away with it, and they're able to secure that kill. But I mean, Waterfrog sacrifices himself and his team gets the Baron. I think that's an even trade, or a better trade for him and his team rather.
Yeah, he did not have any sort of shutdowns. He got Jinx Flash as well, which will be very big for this Olaf to just say, oh, free food.
Yeah, free food. What kind of minion is this? Do you spawn out of the Nexus as well? Yeah, I mean, that guy's the stuff of nightmares. Literally, he's 3 items. He's just going to start running down their whole team. And I think this is going to be the final push. I mean, they have huge Baron stack minions.
Yep, super minions flooding through the base. Not full strength yet on I Miss Her. Waterfrog still walking back without that teleport.
Cloud doing some emoting, just BMing, saying that there's no chance that you let Graves through game 2 as well.
Yeah, inhib, one inhib, it does respawn. Hook is there, onto Ezreal, they're going to take that to go on, but rough buff.
Oh my goodness!
Man knocked up and Olaf's ready to eat. Jinx is already dead. It's an absolute slaughter. Cloud already locks in 3 kills, and it's the end of the line for Pot of Stew.
Look away, kids.
Moving on to Grand Finals to face Sunny.
Look away, kids. That was gory. That was not pretty. But yeah, well done to I Miss Her for winning that game. I mean, very convincing, very clean win. Yeah, I mean, ban this guy's Graves. I mean, what more can I say? It was crazy. As much as I would, as the Graves was a big problem in that game, I feel like Cloudy really enabled his mid laner game 1 and his top laner game 2 to be able to just get this huge snowballing lead. To just take over the game. I mean, this Olaf was an absolute monster. I mean, this is the stuff you like dream about.
Yeah, several solo kills up there for Dorky Nerd in this game too. It was not the best of showings from Pot of Stew. We will wish them good luck on their next run, whenever that is. But for now, they just have to look back on, maybe what could have been, if they had their intended jungler here for this game. What could have been if they had him, but either way, it will be I Miss Her moving on. They will face Sunny in the next round, another team that has been pretty dominant throughout this tournament, ending games in 20 minutes themselves.
Yep, and good luck to Sunny and I Miss Her. I think you guys both deserve it. We won't be casting that game. That will be going over to our other casters, ASDQWE258, Long Black Cat, and Camper on Duty. We wish you good luck. The next stream will be at 8 p.m. actually, so Grand Finals will start at 8 p.m. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, good game, everybody. Please donate to DMV, especially now that we're at Grand Finals. And you guys take care. We'll see you on the flip side.
It's Grand Finals time, baby.
Yep.
Let's go.